Hello, in this Beaver Builder website Stripdown, I am talking with Peter Luit, who's from the Netherlands and is one of the people who I most like in the Beaver Builder community. And we're looking at a site that he took over for an exhibition events company. And his job here has largely been to add Beaver Thema and pods and some other plugins to manage the data better there. It's not an easy topic to explain in an interview style, so we do skirt over some of the issues, but we hope that there is enough there to provide some ideas and inspiration. So we hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you on the other side.
Hello, Peter, and welcome to another Beaver Builder Stripdown. How are you?
I'm fine, David, and very nice that you invited me again to have this kind of interview. I remember this from, I think it was a year ago or something like that, and I hope this one is going to be as much fun as last time.
Let's see if we can get through technical difficulties. We've already got them, haven't we? We're on slow internet. Well, I'm on slow internet as always. Anyway, so Peter, for those people who don't know who you are, do you want to tell us just a little bit about you and what you do?
Yeah, I'll keep it short because I can make a very long story about it, but mainly I'm doing two things. The first thing is I'm an online publisher in the print media industry. So I have a title there with a online newsletter, with a payable. People have to pay for their subscriptions, etc., etc. And that's mainly in the print media industry. And the other activities under my own name is that I'm, let's say, am I a web designer? Am I a web developer or something like that? I still am in the searching stage of what I am, and it is changing due to all rapid technology changes. But well, I'm in favor of using Beaver Builder tools and all the add-ons, and that's my main base of existence in the web creation area. So yeah. I'll keep it to that.
I like web Svengali for you. That comes to you, I think. Actually, I forgot to ask you to put your own website up on the screen there. So I'll definitely put a link in so people can check out your own websites. But yeah, we've actually got on the screen the site that we're going to look at today, Orange Exhibition Management.
Yes.
Yes. Do you want to tell us a bit about how this client came to you?
That actually, it was a little bit funny. Before I moved to my new office here in Haarlem, near to Amsterdam, I had some kind of cooperation in my hometown office with somebody from the printing industry. And actually, this was his client, and he didn't know too much about web development, etc., but he was interested in learning some stuff. And I thought, okay, this is funny, let's see how that goes. And I learned him some basics of Beaver Builder, etc., etc. And he is more in the creative part, so he is responsible for most of the creative setup of this website. But anyhow, this website is about exhibitions, and exhibitions can be seen as a database of records of exhibitions with all kinds of data in it. But it didn't start that way, and actually I didn't investigate the real need of this customer from the first moment on. He was responsible for the, let's say, functional design, and they started with making 2 or 3 pages for 2 or 3 exhibitions. And that was okay, but he started to realize that his customer was sending him emails over and over again, and there's to be a new page, and the old page has to be changed, and the date needs to be altered, and etc., etc. So he came in some kind of trouble because he didn't have enough background to advise this customer on how to set this up. And this customer discovered that I reacted faster, and that I had, let's say, to be honest, a little bit more experience in database-driven websites. Mm-hmm. So with all the discussions we had, we decided to shift that customer to me because he couldn't get much further with it because he didn't have the knowledge. And then we changed the whole setup for the exhibitions from a couple of static pages to custom post types with a lot of stuff behind it to make it more professional.
Ah, yes, I see. So these exhibitions, do they need to keep displayed on the site after they've gone?
Yeah, we decided to keep a little bit of history because of the famous 404 not found until now, we have just about, let's say, 16 or 18 exhibitions in it. And the customer said, well, at least I want 1 year of history, because if people go to the future exhibition, they want to see something what happened in the past.
Sure.
So we decide to keep the past for 1 year, and now we didn't take measures yet to do what to do with the exhibitions which are older than a year. Maybe we leave them just in the database, but we don't point to them anymore. So they will remain accessible, but we don't show them in some kind of menu.
Ah, right. Do you know, this was a question that came up on one of the groups that I was in actually recently. I don't know if you was involved in that conversation about when you lose them, because I know that Google say it's okay, you know, when it's old stuff to get rid of it, to get rid of the junk from the net. But, you know, everybody obviously is concerned about losing all that link juice.
Yeah.
And I don't think there was an answer that came out of this. There was no definitive way to do it. And I think, like you're suggesting, keeping it for a year, I think was largely where everybody felt seemed like a good thing to lose them, but keep some history.
Yeah. Some history is useful and must be accessible through some kind of menu or selector or something like that. And we think when it is getting older, we don't make them just viewable in some menu, but we keep them in the database. So there's no much worry about that. Well, because it is about, let's say, 6 or 7 exhibitions a year. So in 5 years, we have just, let's say, 30 or 40 records. So it won't be a load problem for the website or so. So I don't think I'm going to do too much about it.
Sure. And just on the basic style of the site, what was your involvement on that? Did you have to recreate the site your friend had done originally, or did you have to rebrand it yourself?
No. As you know, David, I'm not a very creative guy, and we made this setup, and actually he made the choices of the images. So. Actually, he was doing the most fun part of the website, making some pictures in Dubai as well for this website. So
right.
Yes, this part of the fun, and I had to do the more the technical stuff afterwards. So looking from a creative point of view, no, I did not have. So much influence on the look and feel of this.
Oh, okay. So is this actually still the same site, and you worked on it afterwards to put, you know, the database stuff in, or did you have to start from scratch with it?
No, I did not start from scratch. The only thing I changed was the exhibitions part. They were separate pages with the initial start of this project. And I deleted those pages and created custom post types and custom fields for all of that. And the look and feel from the various exhibitions, yes, that changed because I had to use some field connections, and I'm using the tiny little routine. If a field is empty, don't display anything, and if the field is filled with something, then display it. So the look and feel from the single custom post pages I had to recreate, yes, because those were in the situation that it were static pages. They were just linear, and there was no data involved. So I had to recreate that part, yes, but in the same style as the rest of the website.
Yes, this site I know already is using Beaver Thema. So because you mentioned already field connectors, and I know you mentioned pods, and well, you were well ahead when Thema came out. You were writing articles on some of the problems, so you were writing there straight away as soon as it came out, using it practically. So I don't know, where do you want to go first with this one? Do you want to show us maybe your exhibition page so folks can see?
Yeah, no problem. We can go there, and as you see, we are using here the Power Pack posts module, and here you see all the exhibitions, and you can choose for past and upcoming. And this is the next event with just a simple button, read more, and this is from February. Unfortunately, I won't be there, and this is about the base of the whole page. You see over here on the left all the exhibitors which are involved at the Holland Pavilion participants. We have a Google map inside, and we have here some on the right some let's say basic figures, in which as well exhibitors as visitors might be interested. And here on the left, of course, some general content, and then going to the event website, the location website, and here are some things. This is interesting here. More information. Yes, I want to exhibit, and we only show these two buttons if there is some value in it, in that field, because when the exhibition is over, then we are going to edit this record and remove the more information content and remove the yes, I want to exhibit content, and then this whole module won't appear anymore, so that it is, let's say, good for the history. Because when the exhibition is over, then you don't want to show this button anymore, you know?
Yes. Yes.
And this is also a conditional thing here, that people need to be on the waiting list, because the Holland Pavilion was all filled up, and there I make them something like, okay, display this as long as it is needed. So normally you will get about this in the history if the exhibition is over, and then you still can see who exhibited there.
So there's a lot going on here. So
but the customer doesn't really. That was also one of your questions. How much involvement is there from the customer in this area? Yes. And I must say not much, because this company is very, very busy with traveling to all kinds of. This is a food industry thing, and they are going worldwide everywhere, and they leave it just up to me, and they send me some information, and I influence them on how to do this. So they don't do anything from the back end.
Right. So that's good. So you didn't need to consider that when you were considering your tools. Maybe I don't know if this would be helpful. Is it possible to open up another tab that shows the back-end view of this singular post?
So you want? Oh, okay. Yeah. You want to edit the event, for example?
Yes. Just so we can see how it relates to your fields. Yeah.
Well, as you already mentioned, I used pods for this. I have been using Advanced Custom Fields Pro, also in many cases, also in a couple of still running websites, and I choose pods for this, and also for a test project I did, because of only one aspect which works in POTS nicer than in Advanced Custom Fields Pro. That is their bidirectional relationship field, and there's nothing more to say than that is just a little bit better in POTS, and also because of its more highly advanced fields connector. So the POTS Thema connection is also one aspect. Again, there's much more to say. You can make many kinds of this kind of applications with Advanced Custom Fields Pro as well. But I made the choice for this, and the look and feel from the back was linear, but if you go into your functions.php, you can make little routines that you can say, let's say here, location details, event details. You can make various blocks, booking details. These are the two URLs. For the more information button and the booking form button. If you leave these two empty, then the whole block won't appear. That's a little routine. Sorry, I don't have the address. I will give you the address later. That's just on the Beaver Builder website. There's a little routine which you place in your functions.php in your child theme, and that makes displaying of blocks and rows and modules conditional, and it would be very, very nice if they make that in Thema more interactively, that you say display this if that field contains or is larger than or smaller than that and that and that. So the conditional part based on fields might be a very nice addition to Beaver Thema. I reported that, and I don't know if they will do something with it. But
yes, I think it's a very good point. I ran up and I found an article, knowledge-based article that helped me out. But it's not, it's not intuitive, and it starts to get a bit too close to dealing with code, which is, something a lot of us run away from.
Exactly. That is the point. The whole Beaver Builder principle is coding as less as possible as needed. And of course, when you go further and further into details, you come to a little bit of code. And in our last interview, I said, okay, CSS and PHP, if needed, okay, I will do it. But I'm always looking for ways to make it more simple. So I posted this request, and I don't know if they will do it in Beaver Thema, because I think the team is more, the Beaver Builder team is more busy at this moment to make a new version of their parent and maybe child team at the moment. I don't know, but I think so.
Yes, that's the thing, isn't it? They're spinning a lot of plates, aren't they, at the moment? Because there's a lot of demand for more stuff to go into their theme, which actually not for me. I seem to be able to do everything I need in the theme. But is that the theme you're using for this site as well? Is it?
Yeah. Most of it, I stick to this. I bought a whole Astra. Do you call it Astra?
Oh, yes.
I bought it and I played with it, and just like with GeneratePress and a couple of others, I thought, okay, why am I doing this? As I explained, I'm not so very much involved in websites with a highly creative demand. I built more websites which require, let's say, functionality is more important than all the creative stuff. Yes. So I can do whatever I like with the Beaver team, and for me it's enough, and I don't need to CSS or PHP everything to make that last pixel a little bit different than the rest.
Yes. And I find, a bit of CSS skill, and I'm pretty much, it's like anything, isn't it? You kind of pick your theme and get to know it well, and that's often to your advantage.
Exactly. That saves you a lot of time, because I meet a lot of customers and also colleagues here in my new building. There are a couple of companies who are in WordPress web design, and they are all in all those massive teams, and they spend a lot of time and they don't get it paid by their customer. And I'm so glad that I'm in this, that I made this choice, and I know the team, I know the limits, and I know what I can do. And I must say, Teamer brought a lot of extra power to the whole combination. Yes. And so I stick to this.
Yes. Can I? We were going off more into sort of code and technicalities. Can I just ask you a sort of basic question that crossed my mind? Was just, how do you sort of manage the client? Are they on a care plan with you because they get you to do all the updating for them? Yeah.
And that was a little bit of an open negotiation, just because of the fact that we both didn't know where we were going, because the customer didn't have any idea what I would have to do to keep the content up to date. She simply didn't know. I said, okay, I also don't know. Let's calculate 3 hours per month. Let's make an invoice for 3 months, and that is outside the technical maintenance plan for updating the plugins, etc., etc., etc. So we agreed on some amount of money for every 3 months, and I said, okay, I will let's say check the amount of hours I spent the first sets of 3 months. And then I say, okay, this is a little bit in balance of what we negotiated. Yes. And if it is totally out of balance, or too much more, or very less, then we recalculate it and we give another offer, and then we say, okay, then we go on for a year. And I must say, I really like this project because I am also learning a lot of making practical websites with all this stuff and things instead of making trial stuff, which is also nice. But this is something which I do together with the customer, and I explain we are on the edge of the latest, let's say, database publishing stuff within WordPress. It is unbelievable that some 20 years ago I was in relational database publishing with FileMaker Pro to make management information systems, and a relational database was at that moment already normal stuff. And now for the first time with things like POTS and ACF and Teamer, we are getting to the point that we can do that in WordPress without real PHP programming, and that's very nice. I kind of get enthusiastic, and the thing is that I still need to earn my money. So I really said to her, let's be honest to each other. I learned something. You get a good, let's say, but we are trying to build this out to a project management tool so that she can keep track of exhibitors. And by the way, she can, I will get back to the front end. Mm-hmm. You have here an admin button which only displays if she is logged in, a new manufacturing contact, so that we have various contact databases, or a new exhibitor or a new event. So she is capable of using Gravity Forms, and with the Gravity Forms POTS connection, to fill in already some of the basics needed to make a new event or a new exhibitor or something like that. So there is some involvement, but from the front end for the customer. So that might be interesting to say this. If you're not logged in, then you won't see this little admin button here.
Oh, so let me get this right, because this is kind of new stuff for me. So she can input some new information that you can reuse in the database via Gravity Forms.
Yes.
And that puts it into pods. How's that work?
A draft will be made for a new exhibition or a new exhibitor. and I get a message that there is a new draft, and then I can have a look in it and see if all the fields are filled in, yes or no, and then I contact her and we negotiate about what is missing, and either I make the whole record complete or she does, but basic stuff she can fill in.
Ah, right. Oh, that's clever. Yeah, I like that. I don't know what to ask you first. Actually, maybe can we have a look again at that event singular page? Because I just was interested. I didn't check it out. What was actually Beaver Builder modules on that page, and was there any other third-party add-ons that were on the?
You mean this page?
I was just wondering what modules you were connecting to with the information you've got in the back end. That was really it.
This is nothing more than just a custom post type and using the custom fields supplied by pods to do this. And so, well, actually it's very basic, and here are some taxonomies to make distinctions whether or not to display things, and of course the normal SEO stuff, and well, that's it. Well, to me, as a matter of fact, but maybe not to others, but to me, this is for me daily basic stuff to work in, and that is very nice to have to build, let's say, that kind of knowledge to be able to make, let's say, a business application instead of a WordPress website with just pages and posts.
Yes. No, well, I guess I thought, I could be wrong here, I'm not looking properly, but I thought there was actually a slideshow on any of the events, or was that wrong? Was that connecting to?
No, there is a slideshow. I don't know if it is this event. This is a past event, you see, because of these fields are left out. And others do have them. If you let's say, go to the site. Well, we are now going into some random way of looking in it. I don't know if anybody can still follow us, but here you have some slides.
Yeah. So is that using a field connector connected to the Beaver Builder slideshow module?
Yeah.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's it.
This is also a connection. This one has been. This is the exhibitors list. Yeah, and this is also a field connection which connects to let's say this event, and then it displays I will go into edit event, and here you can. Here you have the event slides, for example.
Right, that's it. Yes,
that's what you wanted to see, and all the let's say exhibitors. Here you can see. I'm using, by the way, this very nice. How do you call it? We are going into the plugins later, I think.
We can do it now if you want.
Oh, we can do it now if you like. Okay. This one, this Admin Column Pro and this Admin Column Pro pods, that you can integrate the various pods field in the, let's say here, for example, for the events, exhibitors, partners. I'm using this combination to display fields in the list view of events, exhibitors, and partners. And well, this is well, I think if you are going into this level of making business websites, this is a no-brainer. You really should have this.
Yeah, but you know what I did because I didn't have a guest because there was not good internet connection. I did my own Stripdown with just me, and that was showing me using this for the first time, but not the pro version. I managed to get away with the free one, because all I really needed was the featured images to show. But it's fantastic. A little bit pricey, isn't it? But
yeah, it is. But I needed the pro version because I had to connect to pods.
Yes.
So that was the only possibility to get the pods field into the admin columns, and so it is pricey. Yes, it is. You're right about that. But sometimes you need to buy yourself a tool set which you can use more than one time. When I'm in the Beaver Builder group, I see so many comments about price of tools, etc., and not everybody is telling we are using this for our own website only. And I can imagine that if you do your own project and you have to buy, let's say, for $300 or $400 various tools to make it work, yeah, it might be, let's say, pricey. But with this, I can make so many people happy with workable business websites. So I really don't care about the price of tools, as long as they are good and as long as they are usable for an unlimited amount of websites. I believe, David, this Admin Column Pro is just for 5 websites or something like that for $99 a year. So yes, it is pricey, and I always like the unlimited approach, but yeah, if they don't offer it, it's, yeah, well.
Yes. These kind of websites, I mean, I don't know if folks picked up on what it does, but maybe you want to just go back to your display of exhibitors. I don't know what you're looking at, so we can just show what it does. What was we on?
Oh, okay. You just want to see some list or something like that?
Yes.
For the people to see. Yeah. For example, here, in what industry is this exhibitor active? This is such a pods field which you can nicely display in this list view, and also the various events where this exhibitor has exhibited, and you can make any choice you like. And in this case, I make the choices myself, just for me, because of the customer doesn't get here. And also with events, that's another custom post type. The number of countries which visit this event, the number of exhibitors, the number of visitors, the surveys of the event. And well, for me, the numbers are not that important, but it is important to see, am I something missing here? Let's say this golf host in Dubai from 4 September this year, well, I'm still missing those numbers. And then I can call my client and, well, I still need some data to be able to display this event the right way. So the numbers on its own are not that important, but just to see if something is missing, yes or no.
Yes.
For example.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fabulous plugin, and the fact that you can sort of sort and filter as well, can't you?
Yeah. Exactly.
Sorry, I took you off. Let's go back to plugins, shall we?
Because I don't know if we are running out of time, David. I know your programs usually are, let's say, an hour or 5 minutes. I think I'm talking too much.
I can always edit, you know.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me go fast through this plugin. This one is obvious. We don't need to talk about it. This is the latest version 2.04. I saw in the Facebook group that there were some people were having troubles with it. I didn't. I updated last weekend from 1.2 or 1.1.13 or something like that to 2.04. No problem. I deleted the cache. The Beaver Builder cache, and it was okay.
Cool.
Beaver Lister is just a very little plugin to list on what pages, what modules are used. Actually, I think that should be an integrated part of the Beaver Builder plugin to have a better view of what is used where. But okay, until now I can live with this. Beaver Thema, well, that is the thing which connects, let's say, everything together. with this one, of course, the POTS Beaver Thema add-on. That is a powerful combination to do, let's say, in general words, database publishing on WordPress websites. And I have to add to that there, although you all also make very nice YouTube movies on how to use it and how to do it, but Beaver Thema together with POTS, it has a learning curve. You need to take the time to learn it and to handle it and to speed up the development speed. And it is not a way of, let's say, look to a movie from 30 minutes and you are ready and you are there. I think that's too easy. That's too easy. And lots of beginners do ask for that over and over again in the various Beaver Builder groups. That might be a learning point for
Yes. There's so much you can do with it. It does so many different things as well, doesn't it? Yeah.
The dashboard, welcome for Beaver Builder. That is what I use all the time over here. And although my customer doesn't get here, but if there are any problems, send me an email, send a WhatsApp, or use a direct message from Messenger. So. And sometimes I use the video user manuals here, from WordPress Elevation. Sometimes I do for customers which use the backend intensively and don't know everything and didn't want to follow a course, and then I offer it over here. But this is a very nice place to, if you are in the dashboard, that there's some kind of welcome message.
Yes, and you can do that by just creating a Beaver Builder template and letting it display there. That's correct.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, and it has been developed by with the guys of the Beaver add-ons. So duplicate posts. Why do I have it over here? Because there are repeating exhibitions where you only need to change the date in the first case, but the rest of all the fields are about the same. The description of the event, and then later on I added some little things. So you always have to care about something like that you are not really copying one-to-one and taking care of duplicate content, but this is just to make it easy for me to make a new event or a new exhibitor based on some values which I use in the rest of it. So there's not much to say about it. Google Analytics, of course, Gravity Forms, of course, the MailChimp add-on, she uses a mailing list. And what I said under admin from the front end, she can fill the MailChimp database with new contacts for various events. So that's a comfortable thing. And here also, the Gravity Forms signature add-on. That's a very little one, but very important for this application because people can, let's say, reserve exhibiting space for an event by filling in an online Gravity form, but they need to put a signature on that form. And this add-on takes care of the fact that you can, with your cursor, you can really draw a little signature in the form and is embedded in the form, and it's to make the form legal, let's say.
Wow. I've never even used that one. I'm a Gravity Forms user. I didn't even know about it.
If you have let's say I don't know, you have three kinds of Gravity Forms, kind of subscriptions. You need to buy the developer version. I think it's 199 initially. And then some discount or so, and then you can use all the various add-ons like here.
Yeah. So, well, Peter, it's gone up. It's gone up to 250 with no discounts now on yearly. So yeah.
But as you know, David, here also I say take a good form plugin. Learn everything from it, use it, pay the developers, and never look back again. Nice. Okay, main VP. It has been told in many of your strip downs, just a maintenance plugin to keep track of all the plugins and WordPress and theme updates. Only necessary if you are an agency and have to manage many websites. If you are just doing this for yourself, you don't need it. Not menu rules, little plugin to show or hide this admin button on the right in the front end thing.
Okay.
Just to make menu items conditionally, and you can very easily do this with any menu. Let's say if a user is logged in or not logged in, that one is of the easiest. But well, that's just a little plugin, and I know there are many more of them. Well, pods, as I said, I didn't upgrade yet. This is the 2.7 beta one, and there's already a 2.7.1. I have to update it, but I think everybody will understand that this is the scary one, because pods is, of course, everything around my custom post type and my custom fields. Yes. So before I update something like this, really is highly recommendable to make a full backup of your database and all the stuff before you do something in this. Because if for any reason, because so many plugins work together, this works with Thema and the Thema connection, the Pods Beaver Thema add-on, so 3 plugins in various versions, they need to work together. And if something is wrong, then your whole site can break. So database publishing in WordPress is very nice, but there are also some vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
The Pods Gravity Forms add-on, that is for inserting the exhibitions and the exhibitors from the front end. So you fill in a form, which I said comes in as a draft, and I can later publish it. Right. Post types order, I don't know exactly anymore why I did that. It had to do with displaying the latest date or the earliest date of the events. I still have to repair something in this, because I thought the upcoming events, it shows the most recent upcoming event as the last event. So right. That had to do in the way I let's say filled in the database, and with post types orders I can reorder that if that is necessary. So I think in the future this one will be gone. Power pack, what do I need to say about that? Nothing. I think everybody is asking, do we need Power pack or Ultimate? Well, I just used Power pack for this very nice grid view of the custom posts. Sorry?
No, I was just going to ask you about that, because when we were looking where you used that for the grid post there, and you were able to sort, weren't you, on that page, your events and that. There's 2 versions, isn't there, where you can do that? Is this the one that's actually pulling in the events from the database? Oh, it is. So you don't need to display all of your events on the page. So I'm just imagining. Okay, that's fantastic. Okay. Yeah.
I used a separate Google Maps plugin because I want. I don't know exactly anymore, David. I'm sorry about it, but I wanted to use something for displaying a map of the Netherlands where all the various exhibitors were living. So on one page, all the exhibitors. So still a little bit in development to use this for a how do you call that? A multi-marker map. So for the rest, it does not make much with this project. The WordPress importer still was there because I needed to import some stuff from a test website, so this one can be gone. It's no problem. What I do here, that is an important one. VP All Import Pro.
Yes.
I use that because the customer delivers Excel sheets with names of the exhibitors. And we agreed on some kind of rows and columns structure that she can supply the list of the exhibitors in an Excel sheet to me, and that I can make this work with VP All Import Pro to get all exhibitors in, and will override existing exhibitors where data has changed, and will create new records for new exhibitors for that specific event. So that gives me, that's more flexible, of course, than typing all new ones and looking into stuff. Do I have this one already or not, or something like that? So it's a little bit of an efficiency tool to automate importing stuff. And it is one of the best. You can really configure the way you can import anything into WordPress, and it's also not very cheap. I thought, I don't know anymore, but it is a good one. Well, and the most obvious one is Yoast SEO. What do I need?
Yes. Yeah. Any reason to prefer that? Is it just that it's always used and you're used to it? Because I always wonder about SEO plugins.
Yeah. As we have both, David, we have been using Genesis for many years. In let's say the recent past, but it looks like 10 years ago.
Yes.
And Genesis had its own SEO optimization in the theme, and yeah, that worked fine for me. And actually, I don't check if this SEO brings me on some Google position with this website. For me, it's the most important thing is that I have a focus keyword, and that the text is good readable. Let's say I use it more and more like a kind of internal checking stuff to see if I've been writing the right way according to the rules set up in this plugin. And I really don't look at do I have the highest score in, let's say, exhibitions websites or something like that. All those SEO specialists who say we will help you to bring you on the first page, and the first page just brings, let's say, how many is it, 12 or 14 websites, and then it's over. So how probably is it that you arrive on the first page based on some keyword or something like that? So well, I don't say rubbish, I don't say it's nonsense, but I always am a little bit, let's say, relative about the value of all this kind of stuff. But,
yes,
it's there.
Peter, I'll just ask you one other thing, because what I noticed is you don't have a security plugin on that. Is that because of your hosting, or do they take care of that?
I don't, at the moment, I don't have a security plugin. Actually, this is a naughty question.
Oh, sorry.
Because you are testing my skills now. I always install a security plugin once we are into trouble.
But you know what? This is my thing, because I didn't used to, and then I started using WordFence, and I don't like to use the heavy security plugins, and think, just a few other tweaks, or just looking after them, having good hosting, keeping them up to date is probably enough. So I just wondered about that.
No, but I can say something about it. I'm now running on a Plesk 12.5 server, and there is already a lot of security security checks and issues if they misuse your SMTP, let's say by more than 100 attacks in an hour. Which is not very obvious that you get 100, that you send 100 emails in an hour, then I get some warnings. So that keeps me up to date with push notifications in my iPhone. And the other thing is that I do a lot of tweaking in VP config and HD access. For example, not being able to log into the dashboard, let's say for all the IP addresses in the world except 1, 2, or 3 IP addresses. So, and I prevent writing PHP files in the WP includes and the VP admin kind of folder. So I have various HD access files in various maps in the core WordPress installed to do all kinds of security. Actually, many of those things, I use the security plugin, also one famous one, and many of the things done by that plugin can be done manually, and I tend to use it manually because also those plugins ask, let's say, some load of performance of the website.
Yes. No, I was like that before. I used to do as many tweaks as I could, and then I've just jumped onto WordFence, largely because it will give me some reports which I can use. But yeah, I'm only asking not to try and catch you out, honestly, just to see, you know, what the decisions you made and why, because, you know, there's a lot of sites now where I'm not putting any plugin on myself. So yeah. Oh, is there anything you want to show us before I ask you just the final question?
maybe because we are running out of time, but maybe here all the pods I have here, you see the fields for events, exhibitors, and those kind of stuff that is really a lot of it. And well, let me take just events here, and you see all the field definitions. It is pretty straightforward in pods and not that nicely designed as Advanced Custom Fields Pro, but it actually doesn't matter if you are used to this kind of user interface. You will be okay.
Yes.
I did something, I don't know what I had here, but these are the settings. I thought I also, here. This is a thing, globals, which is also available in Advanced Custom Fields Pro, but there it's much easier. For this, you need to write some PHP code. It's all available in the knowledge base of pods. But where you can define some globals which you can use in your footer or something like that. Let's say here, text for footer, copyright, current year, orange exhibition management, and that will display every year the current year for that. Just a simple shortcode. And so these are pods globals. And they can just be used in the field connector. So that's easy. So within pods you can do actually as much as you can do in Advanced Custom Fields Pro, but in many cases you need a little bit of code, and you need to be, let's say, handy enough to find those little snippets and place them in your. You need to understand, of course, the child theme principle, the functions.php, but you can easily paste them in and then it will do its work for you. Just like I said in the beginning of this interview, the little routine from the Beaver Builder team to test if a field is empty or not, to display a block, a row, or a module. And well, that's a little bit of tweaking, but not that difficult. If you're a little bit experienced, then it's okay.
Yeah. No, it's great. I mean, I love looking at these pods because I haven't had a project where I've needed to use it. So I've only had a little play around, really, making up my own examples. So you need a real site, don't you, to really delve in?
Yeah, but your own website Stripdown from, when was it, last week or the day before? I really like that because that approach with Advanced Custom Fields Pro and how you made it with external plugin to make your custom post type, it just shows that with relatively a few extra plugins, you can make a very powerful website. Because in this case, you just made a web shop which was not a web shop, just a catalog, and that adds value to the customer. And we are really living in very interesting times in database publishing for WordPress.
Aren't we just? Hey, well, look, the last questions I'll ask you, maybe you've got nothing to say on it, is just really anything that you learned from this or would have done differently if you'd have known more? Is there anything that went particularly right or wrong with it, really?
Well, the thing is that I really have to learn at what kind of skill level the customer operates in order to find the right way of cooperation. This customer doesn't know anything and doesn't want to know anything. So actually they are tied up to me. I don't know if that is nice, yes or no, but I really would like to find more customers who are looking for company web applications with a little bit more of know-how, because I in this case I needed to stimulate myself in thinking about how to make it. Yes. And I would like to have a customer which also thinks together with me and be even more productive than we have been until now. I think this is a nice project, but it could be so much better and so much nicer if the cooperation would be a little bit better on the technical level. This on commercial level, it's okay. Yes. Because we also have ideas to let exhibitors pay for their presence on this website. So that is what we wanted to do, to make a new business model behind it and to say, okay, this is what we can offer you in the package on this website. So that's just a commercial way of working together. I would like also to have a technical way of working together. But
yes.
you need to keep wishing something for the next project.
Peter, this has been brilliant. It always is. I love talking to you. Yeah, people should check out actually some of the articles you did on pods and ACF. To be honest, a lot of that went over my head, so I'll be going back to some of your old articles as well.
Okay.
But thank you so much for joining me. We have to get out in a slick manner. So I usually just say it's goodbye for me, David.
Okay.
And you are.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, David, again and again for being able to on the show, and I'm looking forward to watch it.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye, everyone.
Okay. Bye.